Hello, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com. It is Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m., and this is the state of the town that I built so far. This is basically Dubstep Rod's no NFT town, but enhanced with my NFTs. Okay, and I haven't finished yet. So my decision was, do I like building these houses, or what do you call them? Not houses. That's a stupid way to say it. When you build these buildings right here, the boxing facilities. um, First of all, it's going to eat up 750 a minute, but once you go to that, as Dubstep Rod implied or that basically said in his video, you're going to need a lot of cash to get you over the hump until you sell your first stacked box. Okay. So I decided rather than to try to stay up and stress myself out all night, even though it may cost me a few hundred places in the game. Like right now, I'm at 393. I think I've been in the 300s most of today. So we'll see how far I drop by tomorrow morning. Be nice to be in the top 500, but I don't think I may not make it. So what I'm doing here is basically I'm selling baguettes, which I've shown you in previous videos. And the baguettes eventually will go into one of the party or supply boxes or whatever they're called, right? So, but for now, the baguettes bring me in a little over $1 million. About, let's see, let's check the stats over here, if the stats is correct. So the baguettes, I'm making 13 an hour. So that means less than an hour, I'm making over 1.1 million just on the baguettes. The other things I decided to do that varied from his build is, just for overnight at least, I built more fabric plants over here so they could do cotton. And I bumped up my cotton crops and some of my other crops that are tuned just for tonight. Okay. And then tomorrow I'll retune it to do the final build. And so I'm hoping that, okay, when I come in the morning, which is not a full 8 hours really. Well, so it'll be 8 o'clock before I get done with other things I do in the morning and start to look at the game again. So at 8 a.m., that's going to be 8 hours plus about 2 more. So it's 10 hours from now. So I should have, I'm guessing, 15 to $20 million by that time tomorrow. Now, there's one decision I've noticed I have to make, and it's a tough one. And that's like right here. I was making pumpkin pies, but see, that was draining all my sugar, or at least a lot of my sugar. But now I've kind of redone some of my crops, and now last time I checked, I had 10 sugar here. I have 6 now because I turned on the jam. That's the other thing that sucks up a lot of sugar. So every time you make a strawberry jam, it uses 3 sugars. Okay. If we check my pantry down here, I have 5 jams. So that's going to bring me some income as well. If we check the boat over here, what's the price I get when I sell 10 jams? That's 250,000. And that's probably at least every hour. If we look over here again on the performance monitor. So you just kind of have to do all the maths, as the British say. They put an S on the end of math. Where is the jam? I wish you could sort these things. Like, please add a sort. I am selling candy canes. I only have one candy cane factory, but I've been selling those since the beginning. I found out that they work pretty good with baguettes. So I was selling candy canes and baguettes to basically do my rush, along with cows and sheep. And I'm still looking for the jam. Sorry, it's taking so long. I have no idea where the jam is here. I don't even see it on there. Wow, there's so many items here. It's hard to, wow, it's really hard to get them all. There's regular, okay, there's the jam. So I'm making actually 20, so I'm selling 2 sets of jams per hour. So that's $2 million an hour right there, just selling jams. And I do have this lovely NFT here, which is the Valentine's stand. I've actually thought about selling it before, but as you can see today, it's really helping me a lot. It provides, I think, 5 strawberries to the guy next to it. And if you count down five 4, 3, 2. It's actually giving me all the strawberries I need over here for my sangria as well, which that's working out pretty nice. So I'm also selling sangria. And again, I don't know what my rate is, but maybe one sangria every hour or two. Get in here, where are you? That should be easy to find because it's a bottle of wine. Okay, there it is. I think the performance monitor is wrong right here. I know I'm not making 0. So wish it they'd fix the little bugs like that. And also I'm making fabric boxes. So yeah, but between all those little things that I'm selling, I actually should be pulling in 2 to 3 million an hour. So 10 hours from now, then I should have $30 million. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test that now, like between now and say 10:30. I'll write down this is how much cash I have now. And at 10:30, I'll write down how much cash I have, and then I'll be able to calculate exactly what I'll have in the morning. Then when the morning comes, I'll basically get rid of a couple of my fabric plants that are over here. I will switch some things on and off, that need to be turned on or switched around. And then I'll go for adding the 4 buildings that will build the different types of boxes, including the stack boxes. And at that time, even if it takes 5 or 10 hours for me to build my first stack box, I will have the cash to be able to run my town in the meanwhile. And as Rob said, that's Rod said, that's one of the things you really got to watch out for. If you just totally run out of cash, it's going to be hard to make a comeback. I mean, you could always go back and try to sell something again, like the baguettes. I could, like I said, I was trying to make pumpkin pies for a little extra income, but that was eating up a lot of my sugar. I could try making cakes here, but again, that uses, that would eat up a lot of my flour and the butter, which I'm using for my baguettes. So some things compete with each other and some things don't. The pumpkin pie mainly competed on the sugar. I think there's enough eggs to go around. But see, the jam doesn't really compete with anything except the sugar. The fabric boxes don't compete with anything really. So they're kind of nice little, do their own thing. I mean, I guess I'd be selling things like honey when it comes in. Here's my honey. So when I get 10 honey, that would sell. Not a lot of money for the honey. Or if you got the money, honey, I got the time. Do you remember that old song? And then I'm making ceramic bowls. And I was making over here these, what's it called? Supply boxes? I was making supply boxes. But when my wood got a little low, because I had to plant extra crops to get my baguettes and everything done, my wood is kind of like very minimal right now. And my lumber as well. So I don't want to be making any extra wood-related things right now to sell. Okay, so that's my theory on how I'm going to play it. If you can stay up all night, good for you. I'm just not willing to do that, at least not this week. And it's an interesting challenge this week in TownStar. Basically, they let you build anything you want. There's no special meta. And so stack boxes are one of the things that pays the most. And I still wish, like right there, see, I can't even tell what that was. Was it salt or flour? I want a list or a little pop down somewhere here that says these are like the last 10 things you've sold. Please add that as a feature. I mean, this auto sell is a great feature, but if you can't tell what you're auto selling, then you don't know what you're overproducing. And yeah, you could try to figure it out on the performance monitor, but it's, like I said, it's kind of kludgy as well. So there's so many things where I'm waiting on them to improve, but again, they still call it a beta game. So just a couple other things to recap. Let me show you what NFTs I'm using. Here's my wheat stand. It's helping these windmills make flour. This is a sugar stand helping these windmills make sugar. I am using an NFT here that provides clay. So these guys will automatically get clay from that, which means I might need 1 or 2 less pottery houses than Dubstep Rod had. I mean, a lot of this city is exactly like his. I mean, down to the position of certain things. Some of my windmills are a little bit different because of my NFTs here. What else? I actually have 3 NFT bakeries, which is that's again how I do my rush for my baguettes. I have, this is an NFT candy cane store. It comes with the truck, where I think the normal candy cane is a little bit slower. It's like a little girl or whatever she's called that goes and gets the sugar and stuff. Oh, this is one thing. This is my storehouse. It's way down here. And I did build a secondary storehouse right here. But it's really kind of hard to move your storehouse once you got it full of like 40, 50 items, right? You're afraid you could move it, but if you return it to the NFT land and then re-put it back in your city, you're going to lose everything that was in there. So see, if I were to move this thing right now, I would lose all this stuff. That's just, to me, it's too big of a loss. So um, something I might consider as a tuning thing when I do my rebuild tomorrow. I might just eat the cost of that, but we'll see. Because it would be faster, obviously, if these guys didn't have to walk all the way down that road. I have paved all the roads that Dubstep Rod had. I do have a little temporary road right here, which might go away tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not sure if I have enough meadows, to be honest. What else can I show you? Since we have the oil seep here, I didn't have to use my haunted house, which was nice. Oh, here, the Sphere of Hope. I love that thing every once in a while. It really comes in handy. So it basically eliminates pollution from the refineries. And normally your pottery houses will go super slow when they're next to the refinery. So again, I think Dubstep Rod's version, he had them running slow on purpose, but he wanted to get the water drum. He didn't want to have to do water drums, so he wanted them next to this water facility here. So anyway, I'm thinking by doing this, I can have only one or two of them and still accomplish what he was accomplishing more of them. Here's my two hives. One's doing wax, one's doing honey. And actually, the wax must be being used right now for maybe one of these boxes, because I don't have any wax in my pantry at all here. This is something I see as a potential issue here, is I might need another pantry because since the pantry only holds 20 items, how are you going to set up your auto sell, right? So you really need, like, if you're going to say auto sell honey at 10, auto sell jam at 10, and auto sell wax at 10, that means you really need to hold 30 things in your pantry, right? So right now, since there's no wax in there, it's okay, but I could see it jamming up in the middle of the night if you don't have two pantries. So that's one thing I might consider doing. Okay, as usual, let me show you how I built this town. These are just some screenshots I take while I'm building it, maybe every 30 minutes to an hour or whenever something substantial happens. So at first I put my milk cows over here, and I probably ended up moving around 2 or 3 times. I just want to make sure they had water. I was using this NFT milk storage, which was a given or one I won. I did pay for these two wool. Brilliant sheep pens, or whatever they're called. So they give me some fast wool. And so just to start off with, then I'm selling basically milk and wool. And then I started building my windmills over here to build sugar so I could start getting my candy canes going. And the candy cane uses a lot of energy as well. And you see I have not built any energy for that yet. So the next thing I do here is I use the Tesla coil, which will kick off one energy about every 30, 40 seconds. And then the worker house will carry it to the nearby storage unit. And then the candy canes need 5 sugar. And then here the bakery doesn't need actually any energy, but I just happened to put it right there because there was a road there. Then I'm starting my industrial complex over here. Fairly traditional pattern. I'm using my little solar guy here to give 1 unit of energy to this to help me kind of get bootstrapped and get some lumber built. This is my lumber yard, and I'm still using the default wood mill or wood yard, whatever it's called, wood shed over here. Built a couple more windmills on this side. This is my ground silo, which I love. That's a nice NFT. Holds 60 items. Okay, now, here I built my first power plant. I actually prefer having power before I have gas or petrol because I need it for to supply my candy canes here. And eventually you'll see I moved my candy canes. I'm like, why did I put them there? They should be right here, right next to the power plant. So I did move those over later. Right now, that's where it was. The reason it was here originally, I think it was before the power plant, was that way this Tesla coil is giving one energy passively to the two things he's touching. And then I think I moved this solar panel actually to that square right there, and then it provided one energy passively as well to two different things. So that's a good way to do it. This is an oak storage, so I started building up my oak so I could build more water pumps in the future or anything else that needs oak. This is kind of my house row, basically right here. You can see I moved I wanted to plant some trees by the water, so I moved all my cows up a little closer to a pond that was already there. Now I built my second power plant, my first refinery that's building petroleum. Even though the storage tank is over here, I eventually put the storage tank here to make it faster. Added the salt fields over here, so I start making, let's see, when did I add that? Let's go back up. Okay, there were salt fields here. So we're on the ocean, so the salt is building the brine, and some of my windmills are making salt, which is one of the things that's required to make butter. And now I doubled up. I'm going to say, okay, I'm either going to make two butters at once until I sell one butter, and then usually I'll go ahead and put all three bakeries down, and one will make butter, one will make dough, and one will make baguettes. This is a candy cane storage. This is actually a peppermint storage too. I think I won both of those. So it's just nice to be able to click real quick and see your inventory instead of having to go to the storage and get this long list and stuff. It's just, to me, it's a faster way to see your inventory, and it maybe makes the trips a little bit faster too from where your workers may have to go. I still have a lot of my crops right here, which of course eventually they're all going to go down to this side of the board, and that's not a perfect place for them, but at the beginning of the game it's satisfactory. Now here you can see I needed some wood apparently, and sometimes I put little I add little words to my video picture file name. It says waiting for money for fourth bakery. So I had 154,000, but I needed, was it 300,000 or 330 for a bakery? So I wanted to make two butters and then dough and then baguettes. So I am waiting on money for that. And what else? Got the whole refinery thing built over here. Now you can see I've moved my candy store here, and I switched the Tesla coil now. So again, it's providing energy. Two guys are now providing energy. Of course, now the power plant will provide passive energy to this, so they don't really need that. But this gives 4 out of 5. This gives 1 out of 5 to the candy canes. A lot of little farmer houses, a couple of rancher houses. The original silo is still there. Chicken coop is in play. I was at 407 at that point on the leaderboard. What did I do here? Oh, it says cash from the first baguette sale. So see up here, you see I have 1.162 million now. So that definitely enables me to build a lot more things and spend some money, get rid of some tree stumps and things like that. Oh, wow, this was at 3:09 p.m. and then now the next one was at 5:50 p.m. So I did go about 2 or 3 hours there without taking screenshots. You can see we jumped from this to this in about 3 hours. And so now you can see I'm basically following Dubstep Rod's town plan, and I'm trying to pave my roads little by little here. And of course, everything goes red when you're paving them. That's pretty much what I've done at this point. Oh, I built the mines over here. So now I can make glass here in the glass factory. And here are the two wineries, so I can start making Cabernet wine and then the Sangria wine. And at some point, I think it's right after that sale, after I got that 1.1 million or whatever for the baguettes, see, I jumped up to 326. So see, the baguettes can really jump you from like here, 407 to 326. That's like 80 some points, right, in the leader rank. Now here I started putting in these lumber mills. I had to add a lumber mill over here as well because these two don't have aren't touching the water pumps. So you can only build oak barrels and certain type of boxes with those. This one can make lumber. And so I needed another one over here to make lumber faster because lots of times I'd have 50, 60 wood in my wood tower here. And so I needed to double the speed of the lumber making. So this guy is only here at the beginning of the game. It's still there now, but tomorrow I will have to get rid of him and put something else there. I've started building my farm tractors, 4 out of 5. My first ATV down here, again, as per Dubstep Rod's plan. And let's see. That's back to the beginning. So that brings us up to where I am right now, which was this town right here. So anyway, that's what I'm doing so far. I'll try to keep you posted tomorrow if I have a break where I can make another video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more TownStar videos, and who knows, other things I might create some videos about soon. I'll talk to you later.